one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about
change that to 1017 The Truth, The Truth app.
What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. Now, I'm asking the mayor, the common council president, and the common council. Show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I am live on YouTube, live on the radio, live on the Truth app, live on my LinkedIn page. If you want to hit me at host@1017thetruth.com. If you got an email, if you want to text, you can hit us on 833-212-1017. That is the number for the talk and the text line. If you want to talk to me or text me, same thing, same time, same way. So I was looking at a story today, and it dawned on me as I'm reading it, like it kind of made sense, but then it kind of didn't make sense. Because I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is that the person's trying to do. So let me put it like this. I respect the mayor of Milwaukee for the things he's done, the offices he's run for, all that. I did. So a lot of times people come after me because, oh, you're always complaining about it. No, I just have questions about some things that didn't make any sense to me. And so when I have a question, I ask. And so Mayor Johnson wants to push the state to get information and enact stronger gun control laws. So a story that was published about an hour ago, JS Online by Nathaniel Rosenberg from Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel said, now that Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson has strengthened relationships in Madison. I don't understand how that happened when we lost pretty much the majority of everything, and somebody still went in and actually talked them into saying the Common Council would need a 2/3 majority instead of the people voting for a binding referendum. And we got jacked, but that's okay. His next priority is enacting stronger gun laws, gun control laws. So far in his first term as mayor, Johnson has built connections with Republicans who control the state legislature with a focus on boosting funding for the city. That's a nice, pretty write-up, right? Kissing up to the mayor. That came to fruition last month with the Democratic governor signing all that. We got a 2% tax. Johnson's plans to sign the city legislation Friday morning, and while the law is not without controversy, it goes on and on and on and on. But the writer goes on to say, now he's looking to build on that momentum. And at the press club, he's pivoting to another issue plaguing the city. 224 homicides in 2022, third straight year of a high record was posted. The vast majority were shootings. And so Democrats introduced a package of gun control bills in June that they described as common sense legislation, though the bills have not advanced in the face of Republican opposition. Well, I'd like to see a copy of those bills. Tax exemptions for gun safety is one of the parts included in the executive budget from earlier this year. And so the article goes on and does a good job at ironing it out. However, they want to include expanded background checks, which I have no problem with, and an assault weapons ban. I don't understand what that means. Is it looks like an assault weapon, so it's an assault weapon? Or, yeah. And so here's my issue with this. First of all, it kills me. I probably shouldn't use that terminology. It saddens me to know that people are dying in the city of Milwaukee and they're being shot or dying of any way, other than significant old age, right? That saddens me to no end. Kids killing kids and being shot is troublesome tenfold. My fear is if you get rid of a gun or you make it more hard to get a gun for the average citizen who's law-abiding and takes care of things and is safe and uses gun safety, then the only people that will have guns are the ones that have them illegally. And now it'll be illegal to use a gun legally, right? It'll be illegal to because you have it in some situation where you're not supposed to have it. Gun control is not the issue. People are the issue. Somewhere in life, we moved away from telling people to stop harming each other. We stopped telling people to stop doing things that can make their life detrimental or someone else's detrimental, i.e., injury, great bodily harm, or death. But yet, we pretend like that's not so. Guns are not jumping up off the street, jumping off of a person's hip, showing up, and just shooting people on their own. There's a person behind it. We seem to think that if you get rid of the weapon, guns, then shootings will stop. And while it's a valiant assumption, it will for a moment. And then people will then use a different means of harming someone because we haven't changed the behavior of the human being. Number two, why aren't we holding people accountable for things they do? There seems to be this issue that every time somebody gets locked up, there's this issue that it's racist. If a black person shoots a black person, or a white person shoots a white person, or a black person shoots a white person, or a white person shoots a black person, completely irrelevant. Has nothing to do with the gun. It has to do with the person behind the weapon. And then we have to include people with knives, people with baseball bats, people with hammers, or what other ever means, including your two hands, the means that you use to harm someone. And so in the end, we need to hold people accountable. So Mr. Mayor, Common Council, County Executive, County Board of Supervisors, state legislators, courts from the circuit court to the state Supreme Court. There's only one way gun control works in America. It's the same way it's worked overseas. It's the same way it's worked in Great Britain. It's the same way it's worked in every other country where they have seen homicide deaths. Notice I said homicide deaths involving firearms go down. It's only one thing. It's also the one thing that you complain about that Black males keep going to. It's that four-letter word that nobody wants to say because it's dirty. But it also generates another four-letter word called safe. You know what the first one is? You want gun control? You want to control gun control? Use one thing. Jail.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
During July, we want to celebrate the survivors of breast cancer and highlight their stories of fighting and thriving through their diagnosis. All month long,